Okay, I think we're live. Welcome, everybody. I'm Ted Prodromo, and I have a special guest, Steve Rosenbaum. Want to say hi, Steve?
Hi, Steve. Ted, how you doing?
Good. Yeah, Steve and I have crossed paths many times online over the years, and we just started talking a while back, and it's like, we do a lot of things that really complement each other. I really know the LinkedIn end of it. I do a lot of lead generation and funnels, but Steve is the back-end expert. So I figured we collaborate on this webinar and just kind of see where it goes, because there's so much opportunity with LinkedIn right now.
Absolutely. I've been focusing a lot more on LinkedIn. Ted, using some of the front-end things that you've taught me, and it's helped me make those initial connections, and then some of the back-end stuff that I've cultivated and developed, which I can't wait to share with people, is really taking things to a new level. But I got to thank you, man. The front-end stuff you taught me has just put me in touch with some amazing people.
It's such an untapped resource, and I find that even if we go to conferences or networking events, people exchange business cards, but they never follow up with each other. And it's the same thing with LinkedIn. You connect with people and you never send them a message, you never follow up, you never build a relationship, and you spend 5 or 10 emails a day, and you can get as much business as you want. Really, it's just crazy. So we're going to show you some of that today. So let's switch over to the presentation here.
While you're going through the presentation, I'm going to mute. I'll handle some of the chat in the background. Folks, today is going to be largely the Ted show, but I will be here to chime in a little bit at the end.
And also, everybody, if you can hear us fine, type it in the chat window. And if you see the screen okay, let me know. How's it look, Steve?
I'm seeing it loud and clear, Ted. I'm going to go ahead and self-mute.
Okay. So today it's LinkedIn strategies, and we're actually going to do a series of 10 strategies of things we do every day. Steve and I, we're kind of like the mad scientists. We like to experiment and see what works, what doesn't work, and really kind of just narrow it down to say, here's 5 things you can do every day and get leads, get more business, or whatever your goals are for LinkedIn. So I've been doing SEO for over 12 years. I've done it for many customers and clients. I worked for a software company for 3.5 years and managed 20 different websites around the world, and it was actually in 7 different languages. Talk about fun, trying to optimize sites in languages you don't even know what the language is. But it was a lot of great experience. It's a lot of fun. You know, everybody knows SEO has changed a lot over the years. So I'm going to kind of show you what's working with SEO today and how to optimize your LinkedIn profile. So if you want to get a copy of today's slides, send a text. Text the word LinkedIn to 415-870-3848. And I'm going to cover a lot of information today, so you don't have to focus on taking a lot of notes. You can just grab the slides right there. So what we're going to learn today, SEO 101. I'm going to go back to the beginning, and here's SEO. This is what it's all about, and here's what's working today. Then I'm going to show you LinkedIn SEO. And LinkedIn, people don't even think of LinkedIn as a search engine, but it's the largest database of business professional information out there.
Hey, Ted. I'm not sure people are seeing, some people say they're seeing me, not your screen. Is everybody seeing Ted's PowerPoint, or are they seeing me?
How's that?
I see your PowerPoint.
There we go. I think I switched to the right window.
Okay. All right. So should only be, folks, you won't see Ted live now. You're just going to see his PowerPoint. Randy's still seeing me. That's a shame. That's a shame, because I only got these big bags under my eyes from my allergies are killing me.
We were watching you just hang out drinking coffee.
That's it. My messy office.
Yep. So here we go. LinkedIn, it's a search engine just like Google, and it's based on keywords. So I'm going to show you all the different places that you can put keywords in your LinkedIn profile and rank really well on LinkedIn and Google. And then we're going to talk about what's next. So here's a question I ask almost all my webinars, and when I speak at events, I ask people, what's a new client worth to your business? And it's just mind-boggling that probably 90% can't answer that question. So if I hired you today, how much money would I pay you initially? How much money would I pay you over the next year? How much money would I pay you during a lifetime of the time we do business together? So those are numbers you really, really have to think about. So I know some of my clients, they buy a $7 ebook from me and that's all they ever buy. Then I have other clients on the other end. I mean, one client in particular has paid me almost $1 million over the last 4 years. So I've got a wide range of prices and products, but somewhere in the middle there, there's a nice number that the average value of each client is how much they're worth to me. Then the other side of the coin is how much do I spend to acquire those new clients? And I work with a lot of small business people that actually don't do a lot of marketing. They don't spend a lot of money online. They go to networking events. And I spent a lot of time in BNI over the years and Chamber of Commerce meetings. There's a cost to that. It's your time. I mean, with BNI, I was in it for 2 or 3 years and I got business from it. I sat down one day, like every Friday, we had to go to a 2-hour meeting. Then we had to meet with each person in the group at least once a quarter, which was an hour plus travel. I was spending an average of 8 to 10 hours a week just meeting with BNI people, which was taking a full day out of my work week. So I said, that's not worth it to me. The kind of clients I was getting from that just was not worth the investment of my time. So think about how much time you're spending going to these kind of events and what's it worth to you. And obviously we want to make more money than we're spending, whether it's time or money. And this is why most small businesses go out of business. They really don't look at this and they lose money. And a lot of them go out of business within the first 5 years. So about me, I started my career in the computer industry way back 1980. I moved to San Francisco from Pennsylvania. I worked for Digital. I fixed computers for years. I learned computer networking. I became the first network manager at Cellular One in 1989, just before the San Francisco earthquake, actually, just about 6 months before that. And we grew from 40 employees to 1,200 employees in 6 years. And I remember we had about 1,000 subscribers when I started. And that's just crazy. They told us everyone would have a cell phone someday and we'd have email access. And we're all like, you're kidding me. Why would everybody want a cell phone? So things are really, they saw that vision over 20 years ago. It's crazy. So then I went to work for IBM as a consultant. And then I went on my own in the mid 90s. And I've kind of been on my own most of the time since about 1996. I'm author of LinkedIn, Ultimate Guide to LinkedIn for Business, Ultimate Guide to Twitter for Business. And the second edition of the LinkedIn book came out in April. And thank you very much to everyone that supported me. I was #1 on Amazon for 7 weeks in 3 different categories. So it's great for a second edition book. I contribute a lot of content to Entrepreneur Magazine. They actually take a lot of my content from the books and post it there. And I write a lot of articles for them. And it opens so many doors for me. It's fantastic when you get your content placed on a very large website, what it does for your business. A couple of years ago, the New York Times called me and they said, we're writing an article about using LinkedIn for finding a job. Would you like to contribute? So I was actually interviewed for this and a lot of my content was in this article. So talk about a spike to your web traffic. And then also a producer from CNBC called me a while back and they're doing a Twitter documentary called Twitter Revolution. And they interviewed me about Twitter advertising. This was about 2 years ago. And then this documentary comes on and Carl Quintanilla, one of the anchors at CNBC, starts speaking the exact words I said to this producer. So that opened a lot of doors too. So really think about if you haven't written a book or you don't write, you say, I can't write. You got to share your expertise and get it on these big sites because it opens tons and tons of doors and opportunities. I also started blogging for a digital marketer for Ryan Dice. And we're talking about doing some potential programs. And it's just all these doors just open up once you get that content out there and share your expertise. I know everybody's an expert in what we do in some way. So don't be afraid to share that. And here's Steve. Steve, you want to share some information about your background?
Well, thank you, Ted. I was just actually responding to somebody in the chat there. But hello, everybody. Many of you here are here because I invited you, but I also see a lot of folks that may not be familiar with me. So I have the unfortunate moniker online of being known as the original back-end specialist. That gets me in trouble sometimes, but it also gets me a lot of business. And the reason why is I focus on the back end of the marketing funnel. I help businesses do whatever it is that comes next. Once they meet somebody, how do they filter them out to find out if they're a great prospect? How do they convert them into a customer? How do they turn them into a repeat customer and a champion of their business that refers friends, families, and other people to them? So I work with my clients and I teach many people how to help businesses in their area. I teach them how to maximize the value of each and every customer and get that higher ROI. So that's why Ted and I work so well together. Ted's going to help you get in front of a lot of people on LinkedIn. I'm going to help you convert those into paying customers for you or for your clients. And just real excited to be here, Ted.
Well, thanks for joining me. So let's jump back to these slides here. So let's go back to the beginning. SEO 101. As like I said, I started learning SEO, gosh, over 12 years ago. I was just, after the .com crash, I was kind of looking what to do next. And I got a postcard in the mail that said, come for this free lunch presentation. And it was talking about online marketing and building websites and search engine optimization. So I talked to a couple of friends and said, hey, let's go get a free lunch at this seminar. It was actually a really good, well-presented seminar. And we actually invested in their product. And we learned SEO, we learned how to build websites and really how to do online shopping carts. So it was really the beginning of me getting online and really taking advantage of all this. So here's the familiar Google interface. And you see, we type in content management system. I used to work for a software company that sold these, so I'm really familiar with this market. So you see on the top there are some ads. These are all ads. And when Google first started, the ads were just on the right. Then they added those 3 at the top in the column, so it made it harder to rank organically before you could get right to the top of that search page. Then over time, now they've added this description of content management system, so we still don't have any organic listings. This is from Tech Target, but it's really just a definition. So Google's making it harder and harder to get your search results to appear. And then here's the actual organic search results as we know them. And look, Wikipedia, 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 Tech Target. So there's no content management system vendors there. So they make it harder and harder to rank for certain keyword phrases. That's a pretty general phrase, but people are saying, what is a content management system? But this is kind of what we're facing with trying to rank with Google. So as you scroll down further, here's evidence that if you post on Google+, I don't know if you've heard this or not, but if you use YouTube and Google+, Google favors your content and ranks it. And here's a post I wrote when I worked for this software company in 2013. It's still there on the first page of Google. And it shows up, this is a white paper we wrote about how to choose the best content management system. So Google does favor their content. So here's SEO ranking factors, and we could talk about this for weeks and months because there's just, nobody really knows. I don't think Google knows all the factors. There's just so much. It's like a mystery. We all know, we hear all the tricks people used to play, the keyword spamming, the article spinners. I don't know if you ever saw those products. You'd write an article and then it would spin it into 100 different variations by rearranging words, and it hardly made any sense by the end of it, but it ranked in Google. So it was all kinds of crazy tricks people have played over the years, and then that's what brought along the Google Panda and Penguin and Hummingbird, all those updates they've been doing over the last few years. This is what I know still works, and this is just based on my own experience. And I watched all those Matt Cutts videos. He was head of this web spam team at Google, and he was basically saying, this is what you need to do now to rank well in Google. But it turns out all this other stuff still worked too. He was trying to get you to do it the way Google wanted you to do your search engine optimization, but the old factors still worked. Domain name age. So if you have a domain that's been around for years, it seems to rank really well still. And these are just my personal experiences. This is, a lot of people still say this too. Keywords in the domain name, especially at the beginning of the domain name, work really well. That still works. I've come across sites that have very little content, but they have the domain name, and they rank above other sites that have a lot more good quality content. The keywords and the titles tag still work. The meta tags, the meta keywords tag doesn't work anymore. That's been eliminated many years ago. The meta description, so in your web page, I'll show you an example here coming up where you can use a plugin in WordPress and do all this. But just keywords in that description, especially at the beginning. The H1 tags, that's headlines basically on your web page. That still works. Page load time, so if you have to have a fast web host so your pages load fast, that still works. Image optimization, right, having keywords associated with your images and then making them load fast. Inbound, outbound links. This is all people were buying links that were unrelated, but they've cleaned that up. But links are still a big factor. Here's, I said, post on Google Plus, and you almost instantly rank for a lot of things. Kind of sad Google does that, and YouTube too. So post everything you can on Google Plus. After you've write a blog post, post on Google Plus, and you'll get a lot of traction in the search rankings. And YouTube videos. Create a Google Plus page for your business. That works really well. Customize your LinkedIn URL. I'll show you an example of that, how that works really well. Your Facebook URL ranks really well in Google. Your Twitter URL. And publishing content on popular sites works really well. Create an Amazon author profile and sell your books there. Even if you write like Kindle books or just put up your own self-published content, the author profile in Amazon shows up in Google search results. And like I said, many other mysterious factors. We could go on. There's thousands of factors that they consider in the search rankings, but they say there's about 200 really that Google says, but they don't obviously tell us all those things. It'd be too easy. So here's a simple search of my name. I'll show you how this works. My company name is Search Marketing Simplified. So the top ranking is my company name. Then there's my website, tedprodromo.com. Keywords, my entrepreneur.com author profile, my Amazon profile, more Amazon listings, and on the right side it sees there's my company featured. So these are all things you should do if you have a small business or even a bigger business. Have these pages set up on Google because they associate all the information they find about us and it comes into our search rankings. So you scroll down, there's my Amazon books, images from me, about me, my Twitter handle is Ted Prodromo, digital marketer author profile. So you see what LinkedIn profile there. So all these factors play into your search rankings. And there's a post I did with Steve a few months ago. That's still appearing. So all this stuff still works. And there's my Facebook URL, Ted Prodromo. So here I search for my company name. Same thing. It's all about the domain name, putting those pages on Google Plus, all those things. Google says they're disbanding Google Plus development team. A lot of changes are coming, but the stuff still works. So just keep doing it as long as it works. And then down here, here's just my Search Marketing Simplified page and some content I've posted. So there's proof that all this stuff still works. And here's a WordPress SEO plugin I use by Yoast. And I pay for the premium version, but here it tells you exactly what to put in. So when I create a new blog post, you put in a focus keyword, and then I put in an SEO title, the meta description. These are all ranking factors that still work. And then when you start putting content on the page, it'll say, here's your focus keyword, and it tells you if you're focusing enough on that keyword or over focusing on it. So this is a great plugin. I highly recommend it. It helps your search rankings. Then here's some advanced settings. You don't really have to worry about these unless you really know what you're doing. And then here's some social. You can put all your social profiles in here, and it automatically populates that into your blog posts. And then there's a Yoast WordPress SEO for video. So any YouTube videos you post in your blog post, it creates site maps for you and it helps rank your YouTube videos. And it's all automatic. So those are two really good plugins from Yoast, Y-O-A-S-T, that I highly recommend. So let's get into the LinkedIn SEO. First thing you want to do is complete your profile, get to that all-star level, and just keep filling out sections of your profile till you get there. It's like a little barometer on the side. It'll just keep rising as you fill out more information, and LinkedIn will prompt you to fill out other fields if it's appropriate for you. That helps your search rankings in LinkedIn a lot. So the more content you put in there, the more keywords they find. So here's another trick that I did. In your last name field, you can put keywords, and that just puts you right to the top of the search rankings immediately. Let's see, I've got a little disclaimer there. Don't use the word LinkedIn, because LinkedIn actually suspended my account a couple months ago for using the word LinkedIn in my last name field. And they didn't contact me in advance. They just suspended it. So I had to go through the help desk and get reinstated. But I see a lot of people putting keywords. Yeah, you can rank well for it, but the problem is sometimes people search for just your name, and because you're using the last name field for keywords, you don't always appear in the search results as high as you could. So there's a plus and minus there. I would say keep away from it, because what it does, it clutters up your name field too. This is your professional headline. You can add keywords in there. Right now I'm promoting my book, so I'm trying to get Ultimate Guide to LinkedIn for Business, ranking, and different things. So I'm always testing this headline, because this shows up all over LinkedIn. This is kind of your little personal ad that goes all over LinkedIn and gets put in front of thousands, maybe millions of people over the years. So there's over 370 million LinkedIn users, and they'll place your profile in front of people that you're in groups with, or in the same industry, or based on your network. So make that really clear and put good keywords in there. Make it a benefit statement. So add keywords to your summary. This is just, don't just repeat what's in your experience section. I like to teach people, kind of grab their attention and then tell a story about how you got into what you did. Some people post sales letters there. They get results from that, but I have a whole different approach we can get into later. But put keywords in there and you rank really well. Another trick I learned is if you put URLs in your summary, on a desktop, you can't click them, but on mobile devices, they are clickable. So put calls to action in there, and like free downloads, put them in there on people on mobile devices. I think 65% of my visitors to my LinkedIn profile are on mobile now. So put those URLs in there and try to get keywords in those URLs, and you'll rank really well. Add a list of keywords at the end of the summary in like a bulleted form. This helps the LinkedIn search engine find these keywords. So I'm always testing different keywords and seeing where I rank, how well I come up. And this is one trick that seems to work pretty well. Another thing is you can add multimedia content in your profile. You can put it in your summary section or in all your jobs, any experience you have. You can put content in there. And this content, some of them are PowerPoint presentations I have posted on slideshare.net. So I've got a link from my slideshare.net profile to my LinkedIn profile, which really it's beneficial. Those are two really good sites to get my content on. Some of these are YouTube videos, and some of them are to my Dropbox. So put that multimedia content in there, and it creates links back and forth between really popular sites for you. So customize your public profile URL and make it visible to everyone. So you can customize that. If you don't customize it, it has your name and then some usually numbers and letters after it. So I just take Ted Prodromou, because that's kind of I branded myself as that. And then also make your public profile visible to everyone. Some people hide that. And what happens is your public profile goes out to Google. And they'll rank, they love LinkedIn content and LinkedIn profiles. So they're going to rank your name or company name really high. So here's a friend of mine, Vivek Von Rosen. She's a LinkedIn expert. She's claimed the title LinkedIn expert, and I'm kind of going after LinkedIn coach. And what she grabbed is linkedin.com/in/LinkedIn expert. And she also has twitter.com/LinkedIn expert. So what happens is when you do a search on Google for LinkedIn expert, look, Viveka's LinkedIn profile is #1. Then she's in these blogs. She's in Forbes in an article she wrote. Her website is linked into business. And she's just got tons of high placements for LinkedIn expert. So she did a really good job grabbing that a while ago and established it. So those keywords in the URLs work really, really well for Google search results. So here's where you can make everything visible. There's different, make your picture, headline, websites, posts. I don't mind sharing all this information on Google because it's, people find the same information one way or another. If they connect with me on LinkedIn, they're going to see it. And, all of our information is out there in some database. You really can't hide much anymore. So don't be afraid to share your professional experience and your LinkedIn profile to people. Create a public profile badge. This works really well. Put this on your website, put this on your blog, post it, and then it links your LinkedIn profile to that other site. So this works really well. Some of these have been around forever. They seem old-fashioned, but they still work. So keep doing them. Here's another thing. When you add websites in your LinkedIn profile, if I say, here's my company website, the words company website show up, or a personal website or a blog. You can actually customize those by selecting other as the option. And you can put keyword phrases in there. Like I have Ultimate Guide to LinkedIn as keyword phrase, and that links actually to my Amazon book using my affiliate link. So I actually sell books this way and get a commission from Amazon. Here's a really good trick that very few people know about. This is a real keyword hotspot with LinkedIn. Instead of putting president or CEO of Search Marketing Simplified, put your keyword phrases in that you want to rank for, and you go right to the top of the search ranking. So I have LinkedIn. So under Search Marketing Simplified, instead of having just one job and calling myself the president or CEO, people don't search for president or CEO that often. They search for a LinkedIn coach or a LinkedIn expert or whatever expert you are. And then in the summary, you add those keywords too, and you'll rank really well for that. So here's in my description, I have LinkedIn coach. I start out with, so try to get those keywords up on the front, and that seems that the search engine scans from the front, and you rank really well for this stuff. Here's another trick I discovered. You can actually, instead of using Search Marketing Simplified all the time, I can change that and display other keywords. So I put in Twitter coach just to see what happened, see if it would improve my search rankings. And then I have another job for LinkedIn lead generation at Search Marketing Sim. So all the keywords I want to come up #1 on, I create jobs for, and then a short description of it. And this works so well because 99.9% of the people put their actual job title there. And here's how you change your company. So I can say edit display name, and instead of Search Marketing Simplified for that one job, I can actually put Twitter coach or make up whatever you want. This is kind of what Steve and I do. We kind of play around all day on this stuff and figure out what works and what doesn't work. And LinkedIn doesn't tell you any of this stuff. It's just because we like to play around. So here's how I have Twitter lead generation. I have online lead generation. So these are all the same company, and some of them are different time periods and some are not. But just create separate jobs for each one with those keyword titles. Another good thing to do, if you have books published, put them under the publication section, and then you can get an ISBN number. So even if you write a Kindle book, you can register an ISBN number, and that ties you into LinkedIn, from LinkedIn to Amazon. And that's a really good connection to have to them. And Entrepreneur Press too, I can link to their website from here. So you get a lot of link value from that. It just really associates you. People see I've written for Entrepreneur Press now. They click on that, they'll go to my Kindle, the LinkedIn or the Amazon book. So it adds a lot of credibility to your professional profile. And usually people, when they look at your LinkedIn profile, we all scan, we don't read in great detail, but if you grab their attention with some of these phrases, they're going to read more. Another thing you do, add organizations you belong to. I started the Bay Area Internet Marketers Meetup in 2008. So I linked to meetup.com. That's a very, very popular website. And other organizations. I've been on the board of Softech and Bay Area Consultants Network, and for Speaking Circles International, it's like kind of like Toastmasters. So all these organizations I belong to, put that in there because it creates a professional image for people. They say, wow, he's got all this experience. He's in organizations. He does volunteering. Gives people a quick picture of what you can do and what kind of person you are. When you get certified, you add those too, and that links back to their websites. I got certified as a personal coach in 2001 at Coaches Training Institute. It's just adds credibility to your profile. Add skills and endorsements. I think you add 50 now. And what I've done is you try to get them, the more people that endorse you for these, and the endorsements, personally, I think are annoying because they pop up and people endorse you that you don't even know. But the more people that endorse you for those keyword phrases, the higher you rank. So recently I've switched mine around. I've switched more on that LinkedIn focus. So I don't have as many endorsements as I used to have. And one frustrating part is it's all case sensitive. So if I type in LinkedIn coach and have the coach with a lower C, I could have another one with a uppercase C. So they shouldn't have it so case sensitive, but that's the way it works now. And then what I've done is here's my top skills that I want to get endorsed for. And then below that, there are other skills. So you can literally drag and drop them and put them in the order you want. In the past, I worked social media marketing, more marketing, online marketing, email marketing. So all those, I have over 100 endorsements, but I'm changed to focus more. We're on the LinkedIn guy. So I push those down on my profile so I still get good ranking value for those. But I'm trying to build up that LinkedIn profile. Another thing is you can add keywords to your interests. So instead of just putting that I like to hike and run and golf and ski, add some keywords in there and it works really well, like LinkedIn coach, LinkedIn author, Twitter author. So I'm always testing that stuff to see what works and what doesn't. And this is still a good keyword hotspot. And build your network. Definitely get over 500 people. And I find the more people you add to your network, the more juice you get with your search rankings and more profile views. So the more profile views, LinkedIn seems to favor you too. So they're trying to get the most active people on LinkedIn more exposure. So be active every day for at least 15 to 20 minutes and you will see results. So here's an example. I have about 6,000 connections now. And based on my first, second, and group members, I have almost 8 million people I can reach out to very easily. So it's exponential, the results you get from just connecting with a few thousand people. I also publish content on Publisher. And Publisher is the new feature they added last year. You can put full blog posts on there with images or videos. And if you get picked up in Publisher, if you get enough people looking at it, they'll put you into Pulse, which is their big app with all the big names. Now, if you get an article to go into Pulse, you can get hundreds of thousands of views in a day. So it's very, very powerful. LinkedIn they have over 1 million people publishing on LinkedIn now. They're making a big deal of that because their goal is to become the largest publishing platform on the internet. So they're looking for high quality content from experts like us to really build up this Pulse application. And if you go to download the Pulse app on iPhone or Android, it's actually, you can customize your content and get just news feeds of the content you want to read. They don't have that same ability quite on the desktop version yet. So conclusion, SEO still works. You got to still do it. It helps you a lot. Optimizing that LinkedIn profile improves your LinkedIn and Google search rankings. And staying active, a few minutes a day goes a long way, and grow your network and just constantly be adding content or changing things in your profile. And Steve, do you have any questions? Maybe we can take a few short questions here before we go on to the next section.
You know, the one thing I wanted to, I was playing around with your profile a little bit, and I was going to show off a little tip of how you could kind of spy on anybody else's profile. If you want to know how is this guy ranking ahead of me on LinkedIn, I found this little tool that I've used for a while that creates a tag cloud. Have you ever done that, Ted?
Oh yeah, yeah.
So I've been kind of playing on. I thought maybe I'd show that off if somebody wants to see how that works. Would that be all right? Is that appropriate?
Yeah, you want to share your screen?
Yeah, you'll probably. I got to do that from my toolbar, don't I? All right, so let's do a screen share, and let's go over here to screen 1. Everybody's going to see my messy desktop here. Let's see if I can find the right one here. All right, so here is Ted's profile. Hang on a second here. All right, let's say that I was looking at Ted, and Ted's beating me out in the search engine rankings for back-end specialist, and I want to know how is he doing it. All right, so I can go over here to Ted's profile. By the way, I love your background here. That's a new feature, isn't it? Being able to customize that like that?
Yeah, that was added last year.
Yeah, I like that. I got to do that. That looks really good. All right, so there's an app out here called 2cloud.com. I actually just Googled real quick because I forgot the name of the tool that I used to use. I just Googled tag cloud of web page, but this is the one that's working best for this. It's called 2cloud.com, TOCLOUD. So what I did was I went over to Ted's profile, and I literally highlighted everything. I literally just dragged down from here. I went all the way to the bottom, and I stopped right here. Okay, right here when skills start coming up, I just went through here. So I held down my shift key and clicked at the end, and all this gets highlighted. Okay, then I simply copy, and I went over here to 2Cloud, and I pasted it in here, and I ran the generator. And folks, look at what comes up here. It gives you a tag cloud. This is a visual representation of Ted's profile, showing all the things that are appearing most frequently in his profile. So some of it you could guess. I mean, he uses LinkedIn a lot. I'm sure a lot of people do. But I saw things, advertising expert was a little more prominent. You focus a lot in the Bay Area, so you're obviously looking for local. I think that's obviously important. If you're focusing on local business folks, maybe you're not using your local town nearly as much. If you want those clients, look how often that Ted is shoving San Francisco in here in one form or another. Then things like lead generation. What does he do? Okay, adjectives, an expert. You can see visually how he's putting his emphasis on certain terms. So you could do that for any profile. If somebody's beating you out in the ranking, just go ahead and get it. Just go ahead and copy their text and put it in here. All right, people are asking for this URL. It's right there. What I'll do is I'll copy that, and I will paste that here in the chat to everybody. There it is, 2cloud.com. So I hope that was helpful, Ted, but you gave so many great tips on SEO. I wanted to show everybody visually, specifically, what you're focusing on.
This is really good. Now I can look at my own profile, make sure I'm sending the right message too. It's very important because you kind of just over years, you keep modifying your profile and you don't realize, oh, I'm projecting a whole different image than I really want to be.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Like when I switch my keywords around in my skills. So
yeah, exactly. Well, there have been great questions. I've been feeding, I've been attending to them. Ted, I'll tell you, I loved a lot of the stuff. I mean, to see how active you are in changing your profile and going after things and changing from LinkedIn to Twitter, it just makes so much sense. I know with Google, they like fresh and relevant. They like when things are updated, right?
Yep.
Does Google get pinged if you change your profile? Do they get pinged that your profile has changed?
Yeah, what I usually do if I'm doing a lot of edits, I'll turn off that notification.
Yep.
So every update doesn't get pushed out.
Yep.
And then the last update I do, I'll turn that back on, and then it pushes it out to LinkedIn, and then Google just loves LinkedIn content. So they're picking that stuff up.
Well, that's brilliant. You know, I spent a lot of time optimizing my profile a year and a half ago, and I've never updated it. And I think what you're doing is brilliant.
So I see some people, they're asking how to get the slides. They can't, they're from outside the US. So what I'll do, I'll just send in message. When I send the replay link, I'll post a link to the slides for everybody too, to make it easy.
Beautiful. And yeah, Jan commented there's another site called Wordle. I used to use Wordle, and Jan, I just went over there, and it's not working because it uses Java, and many of the browsers are anti-Java these days. So Wordle used to be my favorite one also, but it's not working as well these days.
Yeah.
All right. Back to you, Ted. Great stuff. Give us more.
Okay.
I guess I got to stop sharing my screen, or can you grab it?
I'll grab it.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, everybody ready for more? Because I see lots of great questions here, and we'll get to those questions too. But this is kind of the tip of the iceberg. What Steve and I want to do is create a series of 10 of these LinkedIn webinars. Actually, more than LinkedIn. It's about taking people from LinkedIn, once you connect with them, and actually get them to become customers. And we have this unlimited strategies. We kept brainstorming some ideas what we can teach. And we want to do a whole series of 10 of these with very specific topics. And we want to hear from what you want to learn too. We don't want to just say, here's 10 that we think are the best. We want to hear what you're doing too and what you want to learn. So think about that. What's a new client worth to your business? And it goes back to that story is, you know, you can give a man a fish and he can eat for a day, or you can teach him to fish and he's set for life.
Ted, I have to ask if people are seeing you or me right now.
Should be me. My slides?
Okay, it could be me. I may have just been clicked on the wrong thing.
Yep, I see the slides.
Okay, everybody else has seen the slides, right? And I know there's a little delay, so just keep talking there. We'll keep an eye on the chat, because it takes them about 30 seconds till they hear what we say.
Yep. So think about that as a new client worth $1,000 or $10,000, and what we can do is literally create clients on demand, which is really cool, just by sending some messages and building relationships with people. And I kind of a different approach than a lot of LinkedIn coaches, where they teach you to be very aggressive and go after people and put sales letters up and send really aggressive messages to them with sales letters in them. I take the slow and steady approach where I want to build long-term clients. And we've all gotten those messages. They bombard you and they say, okay, I'll buy the product. And you're so disappointed because it really isn't high quality, and they're just trying to make a quick sale rather than building long-term relationships. And Steve and I share that philosophy with business. We'd rather have 10 clients we work with for 10 years than 1,000 clients we work with once. So here's what everybody tells me. I'm on LinkedIn. I have no idea what to do next. It's kind of like PowerPoint or Excel. There's so many options, and you use about 10% of them. And LinkedIn is terrible about teaching all this stuff to us. And luckily, Steve and I like to play, and semi-hackers. We like to reverse engineer things. And that's kind of what we do, all these little features. So we're going to do the LinkedIn Strategies course, and it's 10 webinars just like this. And these are the things we do, we know work, and we're connected with a lot of people that do a lot of online lead generation, and we're going to be sharing what works for them. So there's strategies from building your network with the right people, converting those connections to customers. And we're going to give you access to our private Facebook group. We have lots of people who have taken my LinkedIn courses over the years. And as LinkedIn releases updates, like all the time, almost weekly, there's changes to LinkedIn that we come across. Some things are discontinued, some things are enhanced. So we just share that information with everybody. So here are some of the sample strategies we're going to work. How to write engaging LinkedIn messages. This is working like magic right now. But you can't just connect with somebody and send them a thank you for connecting, buy my products. I have over 400 unread messages in my inbox right now of people trying to sell me things, just so I can tell by the first line is without even opening the email. So we teach how to engage people like that. And then, Steve, this is where your expertise comes in, how to move those connections into your sales funnel. And Steve's figured out a really cool way to actually, if you know anything about advertising, retargeting, or Facebook custom audiences, from LinkedIn, we can get people on your custom audiences. And then we can talk about groups, how to grow your network and build relationships. Groups are very powerful when you use them right. They're not just for posting content. There's ways to engage people. And we'll share the tools that we use to automate our lead generation and network building. This, you know, we're not opposed to automating things, but we don't go black hat or gray hat. We use tools to really just help us be more efficient. And how you add your LinkedIn, like I said, the custom audiences just from LinkedIn and Google audiences, so you can target them with ads. We could talk about LinkedIn advertising, and then I can show you how we receive over 100 leads a week automatically. You need a premium account for that, but it's worth the $47 a month investment, because one client, you're spending less than $800 a year. You're going to get one client that's going to pay for that many times over. So those are just some of the things we're thinking about, and we want to hear what you want to learn. But here are some of my clients. I'm not going to go on to a 2-hour sales pitch here, because I know people, when you pressure people into buying things they're not ready for, they're not going to be happy. They're not going to get results. And I work with Perry Marshall. I work with John Benson, John Asseroff, many more very big names. They've hired me to do LinkedIn work for them. So they understand my expertise. They know I'm one of the top experts, and I would love to help you guys out too. Here's one of my clients, Cedric Crumbly. He's amazing. I've met him years ago. I can't remember where we met, but he's an Army recruiter. He's been a recruiter for 18 years. And he tells the funniest story where when he was in the Army, they said, "You're now a recruiter." He goes, "I don't know how to recruit." So one of the first people that came into the recruiting office, this woman was ready to sign up. And after talking to him for like 10 minutes, she walked in and she goes, "You are the worst recruiter in the world. I was ready to join and you talked me out of it." And now he's just so motivated. He is the top Army recruiter there is. He closes like most people. So he's just amazing. But he sent me this email the other day. It says, "I'm in the top 1% of professionals like me on LinkedIn. What's that mean?" And LinkedIn ranks you according to people that they consider your peers. So I explained that the algorithm kind of matches up all these factors and they think you're the best. He says, "I appreciate it. I'm a follower of your teaching. The fact that I made it to the top 1% is a testament that your stuff works." And Cedric's preparing for his post-Army career in a couple of years. He's writing copywriting books. He's got a best-selling book on Amazon now. So he is taking massive action and he's getting results. He just takes what I teach him and he does it. It's great. I love those students. So here's your investment. It's $14.97, and you're getting over 10 hours of direct support from Steve and I. And that's ridiculous. We're getting all the 10 hours of at least 1 hour webinars, and then we'll be available on the Facebook group to help you. So that's a ridiculously cheap price, $150 an hour for our time. I don't know what you charge, Steve, but I charge more than that. If you want to get started with us, it's tedprodromo.com/strategies. Steve, if you want to type that in the chat window.
Sure will.
But that's really, it's going to be not 10 consecutive weeks. We're going to kind of spread it out, probably over a 15-week period, because weekly it gets overwhelming. But here's our crazy guarantee. You'll close at least one new client during the program, or we continue working with you till you do. So it's absolutely no risk guarantee.
Ted, go back. I lost the link. I'm sorry. tedprodromo.com/strategies.
Strategies.
Thank you.
So if your clients are worth $1,000 to you or $10,000, we're going to teach you how to fish so you can generate clients on demand like we do. So the first 10 people, the fast action bonus, we'll do a personal one-on-one makeover. And what I do is I will look at your LinkedIn profile. I record a Camtasia video, and I don't know anything about you or your business. I just take it blind. And it's like, this is my first impression. This is what I think you do. And then we get on the phone for 30 minutes and we review it. And they tell me what who your ideal clients are, what your business is about. And we optimize your profile so it matches and gets that good first impression. And the second fast action bonus, I'll give you an autographed copy of my Second edition of the Ultimate Guide to LinkedIn for Business book. And of course, this is priceless. So there it is, tedprodromo.com/strategies. Let's answer some questions, Steve.
Well, Ted, first of all, I'm gonna see your 30-minute coaching, and I'm gonna call it. So anybody that signs up for the fast action bonus, I'm going to throw in 30 minutes of coaching also on your back end. So Ted will help you get that profile straight, and I'm going to help you with a strategy for how to follow up on the back end. And I know I didn't get to talk too much about that, but that's something that's going to help you out quite a bit. So let's add that to the mix as well, Ted.
Yeah, and that'll be one of our strategies for sure, how to take the LinkedIn connection. It's kind of like when you get the business card at a meeting face-to-face. How do you follow up with them and actually build a relationship and get them into your sales funnel?
Here's a couple questions. Are we going to cover where in LinkedIn can I safely promote my webinars?
I get a lot of response by creating banners. Whenever I post on my timeline, if you just put words, you get very little response. But if you put little banners, a square banner, 250 by 250 or 300 by 250, with the same words on it, you get a lot more interaction. And also LinkedIn advertising is a great way to get people into your webinars.
Great. Will we cover those things, Ted, in the,
Yeah, we
in
can
strategy
do,
session?
I think, a whole module, maybe even 2 on LinkedIn advertising.
Exactly. And then how to marry that up and mash it up so that once they leave LinkedIn, they're seeing your ads elsewhere, whether it's Facebook or Google or anything else. We could talk about retargeting, especially with everything that we're doing.
Yeah, the retargeting is amazing because you get them on your retargeting list, and then you can advertise them for pennies rather than dollars.
Exactly right. Exactly right. Well, I'm excited about this. And, you know, on the next session, if it's okay, I want to show just what's happened in the past 30 days alone. Fewer than that, really 14 days. Some amazing things have happened. I've been invited on at least 2 radio shows to be an expert. I have been connected with one book author that wants me to help him with his marketing. A couple doctors want me to help them with their marketing. Some people in network marketing want me to help them with their marketing. And this has all happened just by focusing on certain things in the past 14 days. So, and cultivating these strategies. So I'd like to show that off the next time we get together.
Yeah, the key is really knowing who you're looking for, knowing your ideal client. The 80-20, Perry Marshall's 80-20 book's great about this. Look at all your customers. The top 20% are paying you 80% of your revenue. Focus in on those. Learn as much about them as you can. Target them on LinkedIn, and then get them into your sales funnel and retarget them.
Somebody just sent me a private message, and they asked, is this going to be a big group or a small group? And Ted, I think we should limit this to 20 people. I know there's about 300 people that registered for today, but I think this is certainly an advanced class, and we want to be able to give a lot of one-on-one attention. So I say we limit this to 20 people.
Yeah, and it isn't for everybody. If you're just getting started with LinkedIn, then we're going to be teaching a lot of advanced strategies. So you're probably going to be over your head. It wouldn't be worth your while. But if you understand the value of this and the power of LinkedIn, and you just want to take it to the next level, you're going to get there really quickly.
Now, I know many of the people that I invited here are local marketers, and you know, I found my very first 2 clients on LinkedIn, going back to, you know, one of the stories I told about one of the times that I got fired, and I turned to LinkedIn, and that's where I found my very first 2 clients. But, you know, the thing about the people on LinkedIn, if you're a local marketer and you're a little tired of businesses with no budgets, then you're not looking in the right places, because that's who's on LinkedIn. You look at the numbers, you look at the demographics, businesses are here, professionals are here. They're the type that don't bat an eye to spend $5,000, $10,000, even monthly for this type of stuff. So, you know, I'm talking about businesses with sizable marketing budgets. You know, I've got clients that spend $20,000 a month on marketing. So it's a no-brainer for them to want to spend $3,000 or $5,000 a month with me when I can increase the ROI of the money they're spending. So if you're an offliner and you're kind of tired of talking with people that don't have the budget, then you need to really come and be a part of what we're doing so we could teach you how to find where those people are hanging out, because they're on LinkedIn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when you get people from Facebook, there are a lot of tire kickers and they don't want to spend a lot of money. With people you interact with on LinkedIn work for large companies that have marketing budgets, or they have money to buy your products and services. It's so refreshing to actually engage with people and they, oh, that's a no-brainer to spend $5,000 or $10,000.
Exactly right. And the other thing I know we spoke about earlier about focusing locally, and I mentioned it about what you were doing with your tag cloud and stuff, but I said, if you want to focus locally, by no means do you have to limit yourself to local. You could, Ted, you have clients all over the world, do you not?
Yeah.
I have clients all over the world. So if you want to focus locally, you can do that. But you're no means limited to focusing locally, and we will show you how to tap into the veins of where this money is flowing and where these high value clients are.
Oh, Bob has a good question. How do you know who the 20% are on LinkedIn, the top 20%? And really you kind of look at your own customer list. And what I like to do is I can export it, and you can actually import your email list of all your customers into LinkedIn, and it'll tell you if you're already connected with them on LinkedIn or not. And then you can connect with them. So just take your top 20% of your customers, import them into the contacts in LinkedIn. That's one of the strategies we were thinking of showing, because it's so powerful. I've realized I wasn't connected. I have an address book full of thousands of people, but I'm not connected with most of them on LinkedIn. And this way you can do that and reach out to them.
And by the way, when we talk about the 80-20 rule, I love one of the things, and Perry Marshall really puts this perfectly in his book when he talks about the 80-20 rule being fractal, which means it's infinite and repeatable, okay? So understand that when we talk about the top 20%, understand that that is, as Perry calls it, fractal. It's repeatable. So when you've got your top 20%, that 80-20 rule applies at a second level to that number of that reduced number. So if you follow me, that when you do this on multiple generations, what you find out are that even 1% of your potential audience can represent 50% of your business. In some ways that could be healthy, in some ways that could be dangerous. And we want to teach you about both of those.
Right.
I have that as, yeah, I'm very familiar with a company that I know that was in that situation. They loved it until they lost that customer.
Rob has a good question. I love this one. Why not a private LinkedIn group? Rob, I've probably done 100 LinkedIn classes over the last 2 years. And I used to do LinkedIn groups and people just didn't interact. So I created a Facebook group and they interact like crazy. For some reason, I don't understand it. People are more interactive or looser on Facebook than they are on LinkedIn. And I think the LinkedIn groups are easier to communicate with each other. So that's why I do a Facebook group for LinkedIn classes.
Ted, do you find that they're active in the different places, different times of day? Are people more active on LinkedIn during the day and Facebook at night?
Oh, some people are on LinkedIn all day. Some people are on Facebook all day. Seems like. Actually, I think LinkedIn people just get on quickly and get off.
I think you're right. You know, and we talk about it ourselves. Hey, spend 15 minutes a day on LinkedIn. Spend 30 minutes a day on LinkedIn. And people are wired into Facebook. They're just connected there all the time.
Yeah, even on mobile devices.
Right, especially on mobile devices.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I imagine that we've got several people that have already signed up. People are asking about the replay. We've done this as a hangout, so it will be posted, and we will send out that link. Correct?
Yep.
All right. We'll show this. I think we're planning on showing this maybe through the weekend or until 20 people sign up. But we have a fast action bonus. How many was that for, Ted?
The bonus was for 10. The first
Okay.
10.
For the first 10 people, you're going to get 30 minutes with Ted. He's going to help you with the front end, and you're going to get 30 minutes with me working on the back end.
Yep.
All right. All right. Well, Ted, great stuff. I got notes. I'm going to ask you for help on a couple things.
Well, I'll
because-
review your profile today and I'll send you the video.
Time for some changes.
Yeah.
And then I'll review your back end, Ted. And
There
you know,
you
it
go.
never sounds as good when I say that.
Watch out. Well, thanks for
Especially-
joining us, everybody. It's a great content. There's so much to learn with LinkedIn. Actually, I learn as much from my students as I learn playing around myself, because everybody uses it a little bit differently. And there's just so much to learn. It's great to share all this information.
Great job, Ted. I look forward to it. On the next session, I'll look forward to showcasing some of the stuff that I've done, and can't wait to get in our new private group with our new members here in our new inner circle.
Great. Thanks, everybody. Talk
Bye-bye,
to you soon.
everybody. Have a great day.